Thanks again for tuning in. We are here with another episode of the IRL Ventures Travel Video Creators Podcast. I am your host, Ed Ventures, as always, and we have an awesome guest today. Baris is a social media manager originally from Istanbul, who has lived in 6 different countries and traveled to over 35 countries. He moved to New York in 2020 during the pandemic and started his business as a content creator in advertising and social media. And one of the really cool things about him is that he is making money with UGC, user-generated content. Started out as a travel video creator, and now he is making money doing video creation. So let's welcome Baris, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, glad to be on here. Yeah, like you introduced it pretty well. I couldn't have done better myself, but so basically when I started all this was back in 2016. Yeah, like I traveled all around in Europe during my studies, and during 2016 I came to the US for masters, and that's when everything pretty much started for me. Like I was barely a content creator. I was just posting from my own stuff and, for fun, maybe on Instagram and a few other places. And that's what I really explored everything about content creation through a really random influencer gig without being an influencer. So that's how it started. Like during my master's degree, I got my first offer out of nowhere, and that experience, the whole trip to a country that I never heard of, which was very inspiring. And yeah, that's basically how I got into content creation. And along that side, I got my first cameras the same year, and I created over so many videos that I can't even count now. And through that, I guess I started in the wrong way. People usually start as the creator, then switch to the influencers. And I started as more like the person who start doing his collaborations all over again without having followers. And then, I ended up as the creator, and then going into the creative industry, moved into New York during pandemic. That was a hell of a crazy jump start. But yeah, man, like I did a ton of different commercials during the pandemic. Obviously, like things were more tough. So I did a lot of videos in the house as well, just to entertain some people on TikTok. That's what it happened. Like I got 100,000 followers on TikTok, and then things started getting a little bit different. Like I get more serious offers from some companies. I started working with like some fashion brands, individuals, business owners, and then I worked with a big tech company for the last 3 years, which was an amazing experience. So yeah, that pretty much led me from a simple photographer to like you can call like a content creator full time, because I'm not just doing content creation full time as like my YouTube income, because I don't really have that kind of followers. I don't have monetization, but I have my creative skills, so it kind of led me to a company both as a creator and the manager. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
pretty much me, bro. Istanbul to New York.
Wow. So I know that's going to be exciting for a lot of people, because I'm sure a lot of people watching, myself included, would love to be making, income from content creation. And, you said that you kind of accidentally kind of stumbled into it during school. So how did that opportunity present itself? Like what company was it? Like how did you get that opportunity? Because I know there's a lot of people that are interested in like, well, how do I do that? And now that you're creating money with that. So how did that happen? Because I'm personally super interested.
Yeah. So to be honest, like that was the exact reaction I gave the moment that I saw the offer. Like, hey, how did I get into this kind of stuff? I didn't even know it was a thing. Like I got an offer from a hotel, which was pretty much like a 5-star resort in a country, like it's in Belize, like it's like a Central American paradise. And I didn't even know about it. Where is it on the map? So that was very interesting for me that somebody like that reached out to me. I first thought it was a scam. And then I researched and I found out about the hotels and everything. It was outstanding experience, man. And I flew there, stayed there for free, tried all the attractions, have an amazing time. And I'm so thankful to all the people helped me there. And yeah, through that experience, once I come back, I just try to search as like how to travel the world. I literally Googled that, how to travel the world by posting content. Because I didn't know what it was. And then I found out about those words like, what the influencer is, micro influencer or collaborations, everything. I never heard of before. Like I was basically just a photographer, and I was just posting about my own content. Like I traveled a lot before that, but not with an intention of doing this. And once the opportunity came, I started doing more search because I was a marketing student, so I always know how to pitch things into people. I just didn't know what the market itself was, like the influencers and travels and social media. So once I found out, I basically started a few different strategies. First, just sending cold emails like everybody else may do. And then I tried myself as, okay, how can I find places to stay if not getting paid for this? Like, because I was a really, really small creator. I was just a personal account on Instagram.
Right.
So I decided, okay, the first goal shouldn't be really making money, I guess. I just want to travel the world. I have so much time during my master's degree. So I started emailing the hotels that got either low reviews or like, they're like 4 to 5 star hotels or Airbnbs. And I try to show what I can do because I have a drone. Like I started learning about photography. I started learning about videos back in then. And I love doing these kind of videos. So I show a quick demos of what I can do. And like, I try like 50 to 60 different places. 1 or 2 responses always comes in. Like, it's not going to be everybody's going to responding to me, but like, at least it's like, I'm not just offering some value because through my followers, because I don't have followers that back then. So I try to offer more like a commercial value doing all this kind of content. And the more it keeps working and the more inspired I got. So that's how I try. That's how I started to become like, okay, this is going somewhere. And throughout my journey, I kept doing that for almost 2 years. I traveled over 11 states and 4 different countries, like, from Mexico to Belize to Guatemala, like very interesting stuff that like I've been doing this for almost 2 years back then. And once like the opportunity comes during COVID, that's where I was getting more and more professionalized in the commercial industry. Is like throughout the travel, I done well. I feel like I done well. And then I started doing, okay, but I do want to, improve my video skills. So that's what I got into those commercial videos, like, a lot of products and cosmetics, like every item I found around the house, I start shooting videos and I start editing them, start improving some skills. And yeah, when COVID came, I took it to the next step, but it's like, okay, now I keep hearing from people like Gary Vee is like, go to TikTok, short videos, quicker videos, people's attention span is low, stuff like that. And I got on TikTok and all I did was really creating silly little videos on how to use cameras, how to become a photographer, how to shoot videos like this. That's pretty much it. Then it took a different direction because for almost 1 year during COVID, I didn't travel much. Nobody traveled that much. So the travel industry was kind of low. And I kind of shifted in a different direction. I guess that was the time when I shifted in a different direction with low expectations. But it took off way quicker than I thought. Like this time, followers take off, a lot of interesting engagement, a lot of people trying to share my content. And after that, I got interested by some of these companies that I worked throughout my TikTok. I guess that took me to the present time right now. Like from then to here, it's been 3 to 4 years, just consistently creating content, managing social media accounts, creating paid advertisings, like, because I already have the marketing background. That's what I'm, I guess, trying to say in the beginning. It's like, I didn't start it from the creator perspective, but I always try to improve my creative perspective. Is like, okay, how to edit better videos, how to get more attention, how to, create something more impactful and meaningful. So that I developed throughout the journey. But when I started, I was already a marketing person. So I know how to market and sell stuff. So it worked better. It even worked better for my clients than myself because I'm just me, like I didn't really have some super exciting product, but like people I work with, they have some amazing clothing lines or like some tech products and apps. So I knew that I can sell them even better. So I guess like one tip throughout this whole pep talk could be like, find some skills that can be relevant. So like, that you can get some gigs, like you can get some collaborations through. It's like not just like through the followers, because the followers always attract some brands, but like if you can actually offer a skill, like I've done with those commercial videos to the hotels, that can do something better than just having the followers. Because even without having followers, if your pitch is good and your portfolio material impresses them, you can get to somewhere.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is, you were talking about UGC, which if you don't know, is user generated content. So that is basically different companies using you as kind of a spokesperson. And the reason why they would choose you or anyone who's watching or listening as a spokesperson instead of like some celebrity is, number one, way cheaper, right? Number two, right? To hire a celebrity, it's going to be like, millions of dollars or whatever. But number two is that you have that trust of like a quote unquote regular person, right? So it provides value because they're like, oh, this person's using the product. Oh, okay. Like I can see myself in them or I can relate to them. And now maybe I'll do that as well. So that's the kind of gigs that you've been getting is what we're talking about, right? Is user generated content. And then when it comes to, for me, what I found difficult is when I try to reach out to hotels or, these travel related companies, how do I convince them like, okay, because if I'm not making money from it, at least I can get a free vacation or whatever. So how do you do those kinds of like negotiations? Because to me, that's a really tricky thing of like, how do I, convince them that I'm worth it, right? And like you said, like you don't need a ton of followers necessarily. It's just you are the product and you being the UGC creator. So, as someone like me is trying to get into that more because it could be very lucrative. Like how would the audience, get into that and negotiate and show the company that the value that you have, even though you don't have thousands or millions of followers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me give a few quick tips on this one. So it can get tricky because when I first started emailing, obviously my first direction was just like cold calling. Okay, mass email strategy is like, okay, I'm kind of sending emails. I tried to template it like a few other creators on YouTube was talking about it back in then. And I realized, okay, return is not big. I get one or two responses, mostly negative in the beginning. But then again, I thought about the marketing side of the things. It's like, okay, when you go in a job interview, which I guess I treated this like a job interview, either you get paid or a free travel. Free travel is still a big payment for you. It's like, because, like a flight, hotels, these are big things. Like as a small creator, you don't expect like a bigger paycheck in the beginning. But yeah, as a beginning, back to what I'm saying. So when you treat it like a job interview, they expect to obviously present yourself as, okay, these are my portfolio and this is what I can do. But it's also good and impressive if you can customize that email a little bit, like dig deeper into that hotel's page or other things. As like, go to their Instagram page or go to their I don't know, like a booking.com profile. Is like, okay, you notice the reviews or you notice that some kind of content they may need on social that can make a better difference, and you pitch them specifically instead of just saying, hey, I can create good videos for you. No, again, specifically make a drone video for this product out, like, because overall you guys lacking this on Instagram. Or I'm saying, how about a group trip to there with 4 or 5 different people, and we can all of them comments like a positive 5-star reviews. It boosts your ratings. We do a more interesting lifestyle content with 4 or 5 different people that I can offer more. So if you can customize a little bit, that will somehow impresses whoever reads them. And maybe one other quick tip would be send the email to the right person. I guess if you're sending the email to the specific, general customer service line of the hotel, you're going to get either a rejection or just like, okay, we'll get back to you type of response. But if you can find the marketing manager, PR, collaborations manager, these days they're even more popular. Back in the when I was doing this, they were just marketing managers. Now companies or hotels, they have PR, publications, like collaborations for social media. They have staff for everything. So I guess it's slightly easier today, but also difficult because market's more saturated. That's true. So response rate may still be low because I guess it's saturation.
Right. And how do you find, like, for example, like the types of companies to collaborate with? Like, let's say it's a hotel. Like, would you go to a major, conglomerate like Marriott or Hyatt or whatever, like Hilton, like any of these giant companies, right, that have a ton of properties? Or would you try to see like, okay, there's a newer hotel and it's like a boutique hotel. They don't have a lot of reviews. They're not, owned by a giant company. would you target those more, or is it more lucrative to kind of go for the bigger thing and say like, hey, you know, because they have more opportunities, they have more properties, like in that respect, like how's your strategy?
Yeah, I think when it comes to UGC, obviously you exclude your following, either big or small. You
Right.
more worry about the skill and the product you're going to provide to them. So thinking in that context, I would still not go to the biggest chains, like to name a few, not promoting or, but like to name a
Yeah.
few, Marriott, Ritz Carlton, like hotels like that. Probably I wouldn't go direct email communication with them, which we have tried so many times in the past with the big chains. It's like, the either phone calls or emails. It's not really the best way for the bigger hotels. If you trust your portfolio, you get to meet the right people outside, probably as a network. Like I would network more in either in LinkedIn, which is still hard, but like in-person communication or connections with them. I think that's what's going to seal the deal. If you still have a good portfolio. If you don't, you're never going to win them anyways. But I was still, when I'm choosing the places I want to work with, I'm trying to pay attention. Okay, first of all, uh, find a place that still lacks something. That doesn't look perfect either in their social medias or in their reviews. It's like I'm still looking to something that I can improve or contribute to them. It's like they need my help. That's
Right.
what I care about. And the other part is, like, I still need to separate like these from the budget hotels, but like more limited facilities, because I still want to shoot content. Like at the end, I still want to shoot either lifestyle or luxury content. So I should be able to show that place in a really good way. So it's like I need some facilities, or I need some amenity, like whatever you call it. It's
Right.
like, either a pool, either a nice looking rooms. It's like I still kind of research about that and look on the interiors. It's like, great, that ambience, like everything looks so nice. It's like I can do this. So I guess at the end of the day, these two still determines how I choose. And for the other type of companies I work with, it's pretty much the niche I'm in. It's like, I kind of like think about, okay, right now I talk about certain topics, and most of the products and the companies I work with, as long as they like, they kind of complement to it, they're in line with what I talk about, I reach out. But I still pay attention. It's like, is the product good, marketable? That's always the first thing you need to think about before making a video to your
Yeah.
followers, like if it's presentable.
So when you go to, like, what's your process like when you go to search? Like, are you just searching on Google? Is there any apps that you use, or any kind of like you know, specific websites or services? Or, like, how can someone get started? Like, if like we're talking about travel, right? So we're talking about hotels, you know. So how can someone find those opportunities? Like, what's your process when you're like, okay, I need to, get some brand partnerships? Like, what's step number one for you?
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to talk about as like a travel industry expert on this topic, but I'm still going to probably talk from my experience that when it comes to hotels, it can be a little bit different because hotels specifically, they're not placed into these collaboration websites, or like, a lot of the website that does UGC, which I will mention in a bit. So they're not really present there. There may be travel agencies present there, presenting some travel deals or outdoor collaborations, like, with active creators. So they are present, but like with hotels themselves, I would say you go either to like, websites that they're listed, like either Airbnbs for the individuals, or you go to booking.com, or you go to specific websites. Like you usually search hotels, and then they always have the links to their socials. Is like, it's easy to just make a quick scan. Like, I just want to like maybe like a 3-4 minutes quick scan of each page. Is like, okay, the followers are this, they're legit, and the content looks somehow good, I can make it better. Or if they look amazing, perfect, like let's say Ritz Carlton, I mean, there's less that I can contribute, so I have to be really, really good, top of the line, to be able to seal a deal with them. And obviously I lack the connection. So, these are the things, like, the questions that comes on your mind, or like the measures you really pay attention to with hotels. And with other collaborations for anybody else, is like outside of the travel niche, I would say there are websites like Collabster, Coley.com is the one that I'm heavily on, like, which I've been getting a lot of different collaborations recently. I got a few influencer deals, even like, regardless of following, like, I'm still a small channel, but like, outside of that, I do a lot of UGC deals because of my product photography background, product video background. I do have a lot of things available in my studio and the next door here. So I do shoot a lot of commercial stuff still.
And that's COHLEY.com.
COHLEY.com. Yeah,
Yeah.
Coley.com. I think it's
Yeah.
one of the good ones. Really offers a broad amount of niches.
Yeah, I signed up for that as well. But I haven't like gotten really into it. So this conversation is a little bit for me too. Cuz I want to get into that. Yeah, for sure. So like talking about other things though, like when it comes to other brand collaborations. So if you're a travel video creator or whatever your niche is, right? You can find products that align with that, right? So if you're making video content, any of you, right, you can talk about cameras, you can talk about microphones, like obviously that stuff makes sense. And then basically you could talk about it and present that as like a little mini commercial, and people would sign up to pay you in exchange for that. There's also other things like tripods, anything related to content creation. But then going a step further, when you're talking about travel creators, like this hat, for example, that I'm wearing, it's a washable runner's hat, right? So it's wrinkle proof, all this stuff. So great, you could throw it in your bag, you can wash it, and you don't have to worry about it getting deformed, etc. Right? So there's ways that you can make other things work for your niche, right? Even if it's like you got to be a little bit creative with it, right? So that's what you're saying, or a backpack or a fanny pack or anything like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you clarified it pretty well. Like, yeah, that's what I wanted to add on. I guess I forgot. It's like when you're because we got too much focus on the hotels, right? Yeah, but being a traveler, I guess is like you can think of many things. It's like, are you an active outdoor traveler? Like, I guess like a lot of hiking boots, backpacks. Like you can think of anything that you can present, and like if you're traveling with your friends, you don't have to become the. When it comes to UGC, that's the beauty part. Like you don't have to pitch the brand. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be the face. I'm gonna be the the person or model. Is like you can just travel with friends, and you can also go for like something like, okay, hiking boots, but like my friends is gonna using it, and I will be shooting it, so I will just prepare the content. So that's still an opportunity. When you do an influencer deal, it has to be mostly about you because you're the channel, like you're the partner for the brand. But like when you do UGC, you have a lot of freedom to just talk to the brand and say, hey, I got I got the girlfriend, I got a partner, or I got 3 friends that we can travel to like this mountain, like a Sequoia Park on the weekend, and we can shoot this content. That's it, and you can show a few examples, and they believe you because that's your portfolio. And yeah, so it's more flexibility around UGC when you work with brands.
So when you're getting started, would you recommend people to just take a product that you use and like that you already have in your house, create a video basically reviewing it and talking about it, and even if that brand isn't paying you, it's like that's your portfolio that you could show, like this is the type of content I would make for you, right?
It has to be. I mean, for like, let me talk to the audience here. Is like, if you're just beginning, like, it has to be something available to you. Otherwise, you will create a little bit of more pressure on yourself if you start looking for the best looking items and shiny looking products, and you spend a lot of more money to buy these from stores, which is still something you can do, but like it will create pressure on you because in the beginning you're not we're assuming that you're not getting those deals yet, like you're just applying for them, so you want to create a portfolio. At this stage, if you keep spending money on certain things, it will probably make you a little bit more stressed. So I would say whatever is available in the house, like the goal is just either photos or videos, whatever you want to do with them. Use the ones that are available. I use like my own perfumes, other things available in the kitchen. Like I did a lot of things with my, like I have these backgrounds like for the photography, so I always use whatever's available in the house, and that's what people liked about it, I guess, on TikTok.
Yeah. And do you do the Amazon influencer program at all, or do you know anything about that? Because I know that's getting popular and is like a kind of a lower barrier to entry as well. That's another thing I signed up for, and I didn't do anything with it yet.
Yeah. I'm not personally doing Amazon affiliate, but like I do help a lot of business owners for their Amazon shops. Like, I do a lot of product photography for Amazon. Uh like, and those are the deals I usually get from like more of like a freelance websites, not from UGC websites like, Fiverr,
Mm,
Upwork, things like that. They're more freelance oriented websites. So that's another maybe source I can add here after these
awesome.
like influencer kind of websites. You can also go to the freelance, and like, there are a lot of photography gigs in there for, or quick video gigs if you're looking for
Right.
one-time projects to just, build a portfolio. That's what I did quite a while in the 2021, 2022 era. So yeah, like I do find a lot of Amazon specific deals. So it's been a thing. And I guess when it comes to affiliate stuff, I would say bigger fish to fry on TikTok. That's what I leave it there. Like Amazon is like something a lot of people I know tries, but TikTok Marketplace is a bigger fish to fry there.
Wow. That's grown very quickly.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like
Those orange pop-ups in every video,
yeah,
every time. Like out of one out of four videos, there's this orange link right there.
yeah, that's awesome. So, and if people are not quite aware, so the Amazon affiliate program, the way that works is, if if I understand it correctly, um, basically you create a video review of a product,
Yeah.
and if someone watches that video review and then they purchase the product or even anything else on Amazon within a certain time frame, then you get a commission of a percentage of that. And there's different commissions for different product categories, that kind of thing. So that is another way that you can, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't want to like start asking people, talking to brands yet or whatever, like you can go and you can create these, product reviews, just, be honest, pick things you like so that you can talk positively about them, and that'll influence people to buy them. Things that you actually believe in, and then people will see your video, they'll watch it, maybe they'll get convinced to buy it, and then they'll be like, okay, cool, and they will, purchase something on Amazon. Then you get a percentage of that. So that's a way that you can start making money with UGC without really having to get approved as a
Hmm.
creator, or have a company like sign off on you yet. So that's another avenue that's open to you. It doesn't really cost you anything.
Yeah.
What is your, like, how do you set the rates and like the payment? Because like, we're talking about hotels and stuff that maybe you'd get a free stay or free flight or whatever, this kind of thing. But when you're actually trying to make money with it, like how do you negotiate on the price and your compensation?
Mhm. I guess this is not going to sound like life changing advice, because I know most professionals would probably follow a similar pattern on payments and charging the rates. Obviously, I have my own rates. Like, I always design like a little document for the rates on Canva. But when I'm charging, I'm paying attention to like, okay, is this a one-off project? Or is this like a retainer offer, like in a continuous client? Or is this a potential to be a retainer at least? It's still more hope, because most of the times when I get freelance projects, I know like I can spot like a one-off projects right away based on the description. So those projects, I do have a rate for them already. But when it comes to retainer, I try to create at least a package, like, because most clients are like, they even ask themselves, it's like, oh, do you have something like a package? Like they don't want to go through like how complicated pricing. So that's where like, I do have like priorities. I have prioritized retainer clients always, because eventually, like, applying to so many different these collaborations, UGC work, like freelance things, every time you apply for something, it's like job application. It takes another 15 minutes of your life. So I'd rather have a client that will trust me, and trust me, like I don't have to convince someone else random to pay me this, because I already convinced this person to pay me this, and like they trust my work, and my work that was quality for them already. I want to work with them. So yeah, retainers always prioritize. I do recommend people to usually like kind of like prepare a package, a value package for people. That will be what I say. But yeah, for one-off clients, obviously I do have hourly rates. If it's a shooting, if it's a commercial I'm shooting, then obviously I calculate like, I'm going to spend pretty much hour and a half, 2 hours in this video, editing another hour. So you calculate those things and you just give a one-off rate. So that's more simple, like probably most people are doing.
And if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to reveal if you don't want to, but what are the rates that you charge typically for like a one-off or for a retainer? Because I know that's what people are going to want to know. It's like, how do I know
Yeah.
what to
All
charge?
right. Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna give the exact number, but I'm gonna give the ranges that what I would charge and what I can be charging right now. So, uh, when I started, like I was charging, uh, and let me talk about more video stuff. Photography, people can also
Yeah.
interpret for that. Uh, but with video stuff, when I just started in my first year, maybe first 6 to 8 months, I charge between $250 to $500 per video, which includes most of the shoot. We shoot for an hour, usually not much, and then I edit these little vertical videos for like maybe an hour, maximum of an hour. So I didn't really calculate the hours when I just began. I was just thinking of like, okay, how much should I charge a client? I was just thinking of a ballpark number because I was inexperienced. But I think when you're just beginning, that's a healthy range to just feel that, oh, you're getting paid, but also you're not missing out on the client, because when you're just beginning, you have a worry. Like you worry about, oh, if I upcharge, I'm going to miss the client. And you don't have a lot of opportunities when you're just starting. People look at your portfolio, which doesn't exist, and they already have a low bar for you. It's like if you also overcharge, you're going to lose a lot of people. So yeah, at some point, even if your work is good, you have to prove that in the beginning. So
Right.
250, $500, I think this is a good range for beginners. And once you start putting things on the right track, you do one charge something like, let's say, at least $1,000 to $1,500 for videos, or maybe 1,000 to 2,000. And then once you are on a full charge going on, you have a sick portfolio, and you have at least one or two retainer clients. So that means now you're not destined to that client. You don't have to have that client, but it will be good to have that client and help them, but it's not a must anymore. So now you know your quality, and if you have an inflow of clients, now you can charge a little bit more, like 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, depending on whatever you can offer to them. If you can offer multiple things at once, you can charge more premium. If you're just offering the video, then again, you can stay within some boundaries for sure. Like,
Cool. And then that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. The types of videos as well. Are you recording these on your cell phone? Do they want like more high quality produced content with like, a nice camera and like fancy audio and fancy effects and editing? Or is it like literally when you're talking about creating a video, is it like a vertical TikTok 30-second thing,
hmm. So yeah, it differs because as I said, like I am both a creator and a social media person. So for me, the videos I create personally, yes, I create most of the things from my phone, my YouTube videos from my cameras, and I have like a studio next door right here in the other room. So I have this YouTube setup, very small room. I got a little headlight, backlights, and the Sony camera. But apart from that, obviously, I started as a videographer, photographer. So I had the two Sony cameras. I had the lighting stands, and I do have, the Rode mics, either wireless or sometimes I do use magnet microphones, which are pretty handy just on the go. So yeah, every client has a different need. I do shoot two podcasts these days, so two different podcasts for other clients. So I do have multi-camera setups for those. For clients like collaborations I just did recently, like I did a collaboration with Acorns, the finance company, pretty much steady phone shot. And then again, Orange Theory Fitness, I recently posted a video for them. Pretty good workout session. I filmed everything with phone, does the job. So it depends. If people are just creating content for the socials, I think their iPhone, whatever Pro Max or or Android phones, they will do the job perfectly. If you're creating for a brand, or still it may work. But if you're working for an actual steady client, and if they require the quality from you, you better show up with the cameras then if they want it.
Right. So it's all about what the client is looking for, because they might want stuff that seems a little bit more organic and like just someone with a cell phone. But the other brands might say like, oh, do you have access to nicer cameras or nicer mics? Can you, put a little bit more effort into like creative editing, some transitions, etc., like those kinds of things. So it's like you basically have to listen to the client.
Yeah, because it's in the creative industry, I guess. Since we're in 2025, like it's fair to say now, iPhone 16 Pro Max or whatever the phone you have, like the utmost quality phone, has closer standards. Each time they gonna come up with a new camera model, they have closer standards to the like, let's say the camera Sony A7 III that I have.
Yeah.
So an average client will not notice the difference when you shoot the video, but like some clients do value the production value, and some clients will do the value the set, having a crew. I do show up with assistants. Then, I do have a few people I always trust and reach out for freelance work that I have them as my team. So it always works whenever we need to have these cameras. But most of the time, people in creative industry knows that standard the gap closes each time they release a new phone model.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I would say. But if you're on professional commercials in a movie set, yeah, then you will go for the most high production camera, like the red cameras or other things.
Right. But if you're starting out, you can start with just your phone, create so when you're talking about your portfolio, would you recommend people starting a website that you can like refer people like, hey, check out my portfolio here, you can link it, and then that has like different examples, because it would be different than what's on your social media, right? Because we're talking about user generated content. You're creating basically commercials, like little pieces of content for those clients to then be able to use as advertising content, themselves. So that stuff, those videos that you're creating for as UGC for those companies, they would not be on like your Instagram, for example, or your TikTok necessarily, right? So creating like that external portfolio, would you say that that's important? And like, like how would you do that? Would you say like, okay, these are vertical videos, these are like more produced, horizontal, like longer videos that have like higher production? Like, would you separate it like that? Would you separate it by category of products? Like how would someone like set up their portfolio?
I'm gonna say yes and no for the website. So
Okay.
the website is like a business card. It's like it's not gonna get you the job, but you will probably lose the job if you don't have it. Like
Right.
something like a portfolio. But like the thing that stands out here is like the difference the importance between the website and social media, because the website used to be a must, like as a portfolio, just to be there as like either you're a director, creator, photographer, whatever you are. The website is like your portfolio. But these days, I don't even think like more than 5 people per day shows up on my website, maybe less. It's very difficult unless you're boosting the websites with ads and SEOs and everything, which takes hours of work, or you hire other people to do it and you pay for them, which I did in the past. But the value you get from the website is quite relatively low. But again, you need to have some kind of web page that shows your portfolio. So you can either produce a really high quality demo reel, like a one horizontal video that shows all of your work, or vertical, up to you, whatever you want to focus on. And I would say social media content and the presence is much superior when it comes to visibility. So it's going to take a much more people quicker to you other than a website. But if you want to have a digital presence to just as a portfolio, then website is good to have. And I think it's a good to show that you're a professional. So I think that's the difference. Otherwise, it's not gonna be the thing that's gonna bring you the job. But
Right.
it's still cool to show. Like example though, how we met. Like you show me like a really interesting business card. Like I didn't care, but like I like how it looked. It was very creative.
Yeah.
It's a nice gesture to show like, hey, I'm a pro and I care about my stuff. So that's a good gesture. But like that card itself is not gonna tell me how talented you are or not. So that's always, I guess, social media and how much content and value you give, or how much professionalism you show there. That tells it the bigger story, I guess.
Yeah. This lens cleaner here, this comes up on like basically every episode of IRL Ventures. Somehow people or someone brings it up.
Hey, you gotta have something that stands out. You did that, and that's how you got my attention.
Yeah, no, thanks for those tips. So let's talk about like your your content yourself. So what is like your, do you have a main platform? Do you split it up onto like several things? Like what's your main focus, if any? And like why did you focus on that versus like another platform, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc.?
Yes, I guess my platform is heavily YouTube now, but I'm definitely focusing on Instagram and TikTok. I post my content pretty much everywhere. I do short form mostly, so I do post all three platforms, but my focus is more on the YouTube because I do a lot of long videos as well where I'm trying to, explain all the values and everything. I'm trying to put it out. So yeah, YouTube is my primary platform. It's basically my name and last name. You can link it. I can link it as well at the end. But yeah, so YouTube heavy and on Instagram and TikTok, I am quite focused on in these days, like giving more value to the new content creators because I know now that I'm on a journey that like, I'm not at the end of this journey as a content creator. Like I do my other things as a, the freelancer, the filmmaker, the photographer. So I still do those works. But like what I truly care about is now I really want to bring more content creators into the space. Like this opportunity that I've seen throughout the last 4 or 5 years, it's been huge for me. Like it fluctuates, like, the amount of either the attention, the income and everything, but like the opportunity itself, I wouldn't be able to see this in any other industry I go in this speed. So that's, I guess, the message I'm trying to pass in a more cool way, more like a quicker way that Gen Z and everybody else would listen in their 20s, because I think it's a good time. I think it's still a good time. I don't think it's late for any of these platforms either, that it's so hard to become a YouTuber, with this massive growth and everything on Instagram. The same thing is difficult to grow, but you can capture the audience. Once you capture the audience, even if it's a small audience, the opportunities gets much bigger. And opportunities are still there. So that's my message. So that's why I'm trying to bring more content creator with my videos. So my focus is completely on people in any different niches, or they can take themselves as a niche, which was one of my messages is like, either you're a professional at something, you want to talk about it, great, to do it. But even if you're not, your life and your messages and everything you have, it can still be a niche. So that's basically the message and value of my content. And I guess I'm just trying to show it as a journey, because yes, I've been in the industry. I can talk like an expert sometimes, but essentially my message is like, hey, I'm in this. I have barely a few thousand followers or subscribers on here and there. Like, yes, I did that on TikTok, but like in every other place, I still think myself as like, I'm in the middle of my journey. Like, okay, I'm not the beginner that I'm used to be, but I'm not an expert. So I want people to follow me, like, as we're growing together. So I want more people to just join the content space, and I want people who are holding themselves back for so many times and watching other people is like, oh, I wish I can be one of those people, and just press record. I want to pass this message. I want people to press record, feel more confident, and try their chances, take all the chances they have.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing too with this podcast and with my YouTube and Twitch and everything is, I am not an expert, but I want to do it. So I'm doing it. Right. And you just gotta do it. And hopefully people will watch. Yeah. So what are your future plans for your content creation? Because I'm really interested in that. By the way, if you haven't seen his YouTube videos, they're excellent quality. I love your travel videos as well. And just make sure that you follow Baris on _B the creator, the letter B, the creator _ on Instagram. But I'm interested in what your future plans are for your content creation, for your business, making money. So I just want to hear about that.
Yeah, of course. I guess like the plan for the future for me is like one thing I always lacked during my time in social media. Either I work professionally or I work for myself as a creator. I always lacked a community. Like on TikTok, I have some sort of community until I shift into business. But I do want a community that I can really help with. Like that's the purpose of my content right now, and it's probably going to be the direction in the future that I want to build a group of creators that thinks in the similar ways as takes the opportunities. It can be different niches. I can have people from fitnesses, people from wellness, people from travel, but I do basically want to go in a different direction of, you can say, consulting, but it wouldn't be consulting for me because I'm basically trying to show the way to the people. But I'm not really saying I'm on the top of this. I'm just saying that I did this with so many other people. If not for myself, I did this for so many other people, and I know it works. So that's, I guess, the trust I'm trying to build. And without having these followers, it's hard to build the trust. I'm aware, but I know it will come eventually. So the community is my future plan. Like, I do want to start a community initiative with my social media, and I don't have the blueprint or the business plan for it yet, but eventually, community. That's my future plan, and the content direction is pretty much is going to be helping people to build a lifestyle around, like, living like this is like, because I have a lot of different messages I pass. Like, you may have seen me on Instagram. Like, I have travel videos. Obviously, I do live my life. I love my life, and I do work out heavily. I love intensity trainings. I take care of the body, mind, and spirit. That's always been a part of my day, and I'm heavy on the routines. So yeah, so I am consider myself as like a lifestyle builder. So I'm building a lifestyle. Content creation is a part of it, and in the long term, that's going to be the plan. That's going to be the direction of my content, the lifestyle mastery and content creation.
That's awesome. So last thing I want to ask is, are there any stories that you want to share as your journey as a content creator with the audience? Any like funny stories, anything that happened, any crazy things during your travels? Because I know you love traveling a lot. I always like to ask people.
Yeah, I guess like the craziest travel that I had was this insane trip to Belize. Again, like, this was my very first trip, and led to some interesting stories. It's like, not just like, I go to this hotel, create a content, but they let me go through all these crazy adventures. And in one of them, like, I do remember, like, we went to the border, like, the border of Guatemala, and during those trips, we hearing gunshots and all the other stuff, was like some crazy stuff happening. And we kind of like got, how do you say, it's like, not like, coming against the gunfires, but we do get like a hostility environment throughout the border trip on the river. And we kind of stayed there for, I don't know, 6 hours of that day. That was a crazy trip, but like, again, nothing to do about the hotel. Like, that was an adventure plan that I choose myself. So it was an individual plan, and it was an amazing one. But as a funny story, as I guess, it's like, it's hard to find one, man. Like, throughout the travels, it's been so many of them. Like, I traveled over 35, as you introduced me in the beginning. Yeah. So sometimes it's like, without preparing any scripts or anything for this talk, it's hard to come up with it, because I like the way, by the way, like, we just jumped on a call and it's like going on without the script. That's what I like about. But sometimes it's just hard to like put on spot as a question. Is like, okay, what's the funniest memory?
Yeah.
But I guess that will be the most interesting effed up situation that you find yourself.
It's scary, especially when you're, in a foreign country and you don't know, the norms and what to do, or maybe sometimes you don't know the language. It can be definitely harrowing. But how about this? What is your next destination that you would like to go that you haven't been to yet?
Okay, I know my girlfriend's gonna watch this podcast somehow, so I have to say China. It has to be some trip to meet the parents and everybody. So I'm gonna say China, and it's a destination I'm very excited about, because 2 years ago I did a joint trip to Korea and South Korea and Japan, which was very exciting. But I always wanted to extend that trip. Back in then, I had very occupied, so I couldn't extend it. But if I got the chance, I would love to go to Singapore, China, and Thailand. So I couldn't do that. Now, planning a 2 weeks vacation to China, if you can call it a vacation. I'm more excited about like this whole rush trip in 2 weeks. I want to see most amount of cities as possible. I know, like, you probably know I Show Speed, and a huge travel creator. People know him as like a IRLs, but like, he's a travel creator at this point. He traveled the whole world. So yeah, like, he's been in China. I've seen his content. I'm very excited, man. Like, this kid showed me the entire good size of China, and I want to see it too. So yeah, that's my next destination.
Yeah, and that like, honestly, his travel videos and his IRL streams are so huge, but they are doing something really important, which is kind of just showing people like this raw, unfiltered kind of, aspect of these countries. And I know, like, listen, he sets up these things to meet with these people, and, he's got his security guards. So it's not going to be the same, experience that you would have. I've lived in China twice. So you're not just going to have like people dancing for you or whatever, like,
Yeah.
or meet it.
For sure.
Yeah. But, it is doing a positive thing where, it's sharing different parts of the world with different parts of the world and kind of bringing it together, which is why I love travel content and, doing IRL streaming and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I was watching him the other day. He was in like Mongolia after he was done in China. And, yeah. It's
very inspiring.
It's cool. It's really, really cool what he's doing. I saw him on a commercial. I was in a restaurant. I was like, is that I Show Speed? He was in like a commercial for Big Sporting Goods.
I want to put a small tip at the end before we wrap it up, because when you mentioned it, okay, now I'm thinking about it, I have to say it before we call out. Like, one thing that helped me a lot during my TikTok era to grow and also like actually connect with people was the IRL live streams. So I haven't done that for quite a while, and that's also one of my future plans is like, as soon as next week, like I'm actually starting IRL live streams in the streets of New York, because I do want to pass some messages, but most of the people do pass really quick these high production videos, and they feel more authentic in those IRL streams. So that's one of my plans, and that's what I recommend a lot of people who wants to grow the audience in a healthier way. Do some live streams, get over your fears, because I'm about to get over mine, and I'm about to get in the streets, and every once a week in New York's the live stream. So that's a future plan, I guess.
On TikTok?
YouTube live streams. If I can figure out the software on the phone, I would try, but I actually don't know softwares that can handle that well multiple streams at once on the phone. I know on the computer, StreamYard does it well, but like on the phone, I kind of want to do a vertical stream. I want to do really raw, just walking or sitting and just chatting in a park, getting some people or not. I just want to, share whatever the words I have.
Yeah. And I can help you with that. There's some ways that you can do the IRL stream and not lose your audience if you disconnect. I can help you. I can talk to you about that.
That'll be perfect. Awesome.
But anyway, awesome. So thank you, Baris, so much for coming on the show. Anything else you want to plug? Let us know how we can follow you, how we can see those live streams when they come out.
Yeah, no, like, I guess the only thing I would plug here shamelessly with the YouTube channel is like I pass all my messages from YouTube, the longs and shorts, whatever you want. It's basically my name and last name. It's Baris Selcen, the last name, YouTube channel. Go follow it there. And yeah, that's all I can say, man. I really, really enjoyed it. And, thanks for letting me in here on the podcast.
Of course. And that's for the audio only listeners. It's BARIS space SELCEN. So if you search that on YouTube, you'll find him. Also, if you search on Instagram, _B the creator _ right? So it's _ the letter B, THE creator, right? Be the creator _ So that's how you can find him on Instagram as well. And from there, you have all your links on Instagram, is right?
Yes. All the links are there.
Well, thank you so much, Baris. And I learned a lot. I'm sure that the audience did as well.